Hey guys, Vermilion95, recording live from Local County Prison Cell, and I got a matchup I've been waiting to do a while for you. So this is Speed of Sound Sonic from One Punch Man and Kabal from Mortal Kombat. Now, obviously it's, both assassins, both known for being very fast. I've done a lot of fast character ones before, and I think the important thing is to have, like, a secondary have like a secondary connection. So when I did like Minato versus Yoruichi, I said I said like they're both ninja. Well, Yoruichi's not exactly a ninja, but she's close enough to a ninja. She's not like a soul reaper. Well, she is a soul reaper, but she's not like a samurai the way that the rest of the soul reapers are. She's basically a ninja. She's from the stealth unit, right? And Minato's actually a ninja, so it's not just fast; it's fast ninjas, right? And it's not just ninjas; it's fast ninjas. Isn't just that they're assassins, and it's not just that they're fast; they are fast assassins. Um, so that's enough of a connection, or that's enough of an additional connection for me to do the fight. I would feel bad if it was just like Cabal versus Quicksilver or something. You know what I mean? Like something that and I'm sure someone's gonna point out like here's this DC character who's an assassin or this Marvel character who's an assassin who has super speed. That's not like like we don't have to have a Marvel or DC character and everything. That being said, the reason I picked this fight is specifically because I have a lot of fights that have Marvel and DC characters in them that I want to do, but I'm just trying to have non-Marvel and DC related fights for once. So I want to do this one first before I jump in on any of those. Anyway, so Speed of Sound Sonic, is an assassin for hire in the One Punch Man universe. Who was originally, I believe he was shown trying to take out an organization of basically bald, like, hoodlums, and mistook Saitama for one of them and lost. And ever since then has been just hell-bent on trying to outdo Saitama, which he's never been able to do, and secretly he knows he's not able to do. He knows every time he fights him, he said this before, he knows every time he fights him he's not able to beat him. But he's never going to be able to move on until he beats Saitama. So he's kind of like that Vegeta-esque rival character, where it's like, look, I know you're better than me, but, I can't take myself seriously unless, I'm competing with you and unless I am trying to surpass you. So even though I know I won't, I have to keep going, right? It was put a lot more it was put a lot more eloquently than that when it was done, but, whatever. So, but also this guy's just a dick, you know what I mean? He just blatantly murders people and shows up in inopportune times just to fight people. But yeah, he's, what do you want? He's an assassin. As his name would suggest, he is very fast. The name Speed of Sound Sonic should say, he's going to go with the speed of sound, and somebody's going to say, oh, you're going to base it off the name. Well, if he does anything that makes him faster than the speed of sound, it's close. Like, he's either, like, if he is faster than the speed of sound, it's not by so much. Like, he's not at light speed or anything that I can see, right? He is fast enough to make up to 10 consecutive after images of himself, or 10 simultaneous after images of himself. Meaning he can't actually occupy 10 spaces at once, but he's able to move fast enough that it looks like he's occupying 10 spaces at once. And he was able to dodge every single one of Genos's machine gun blows at point blank range, to the point where Genos didn't even, like, it looked like he was standing still dodging them, but in reality Genos was just hitting air. So he's able to move. He is incredibly fast. But I don't, like, again, I don't do the research for this, because what's the point of me calculating this just for Death Battle to I not do this matchup, or even B, to do this matchup and then not use the feat I used, or to calculate it differently and come up with a different outcome. What am I supposed to say? Oh, they were wrong? Like, they're the ones with the show. So nothing that he does grabs out at me as being phenomenally faster than light speed, or faster than the speed of sound, right? So speed of sound Sonic is an accurate descriptor there. As far as weapons go, he generally just uses shurikens, a short sword, caltrops, kunai. I think he used a smoke grenade at one point. Just typical ninja weapons, typical old-fashioned ninja weapons. And he even fought the giant Sea King naked. Well, he didn't fight him naked. He fought him, and he had to be naked in order to avoid him. Like, he had to leave his clothes behind and run to try to avoid him, because he knew that he couldn't beat him if he kept. So basically, this guy doesn't have an amazing track record against that many people. He's only really good against, he's only ever beaten Genos, I think, and even then that wasn't like Genos, trying to murder this dude like he does in other characters. This was, Genos just trying to punch him. But we do know Genos uses, rocket-propelled, flight and things like that, and he's able to move at, near instant speed. So being able for Sonic, well, it feels weird calling him Sonic. I'm gonna call him Sauce. SOSS. For Sauce to be able to effortlessly and mockingly dodge Genos, should it give you an indication of how fast he is. Going on to Kabal. Now, in Kabal's original timeline, or I should say Mortal Kombat's original timeline, he left Earthrealm to go to Chaos Realm, but nobody really uses that anymore. Ever since, unless it's really relevant, ever since the timeline has been changed, it's been post-timeline people have been using. So, in that timeline, Kabal is a black dragon, or a former black dragon, who left to become in one instance left to become a cop, and then got injured and became a cop again. In another instance was just part of the Black Dragon the whole time. Things like that. But one other identifying feature of Kabal is the fact that he is superhumanly fast. I don't want to say Flash level or anything. He's often compared to the Flash, but it's clearly not that level. He has been shown to parry machine gun fire with his swords and everything. We'll get to those later. He's been shown it's not running around the world, but it's running a great distance in a very short amount of time. Which is what the definition of being fast would be. Covering an amount of space in a short amount of time. There's also some dialogue, but I don't really like using dialogue, but for Mortal Kombat, they seem to really like using dialogue as an indicator. Like I know there's a dialogue line between him and Raiden in MK11 where he says, he talks to Raiden. He says, "How fast are you?" And Raiden says, "I'm as fast as lightning strikes." And he goes, "Oh, that's really, oh, damn, that's slow," But then he also talks about Aaron Black saying he can shoot a butterfly or shoot a hummingbird between its wings, and he's like, "Oh shit," So like, what's really the indicator? But the point is, this guy can this guy can cover huge amounts of space and run run at superhuman speeds. And he's also a trained former assassin. Now the speed is explained. I don't know how relevant this is going to be. The speed is explained by the accident he got into, where he was, burned alive or almost burned alive, and then was given a breathing apparatus and a face mask to survive because his internal organs were all essentially cooked up. And the explanation was that his damaged body being his body having all these burns on them, suddenly entering a magic rich environment like Outworld gave him this speed, which all of these other characters, Jax all of these other characters should have some superhuman ability upon entering Outworld. Then why did Kabal suddenly just get speed for no reason? So, yeah, the other primary identifying characteristic is his hook swords. Now, he also has been known to use buzzsaw blades and things like that he throws or has come up from underground, but generally the hook swords are his go-to thing. And he does the typical it's the typical martial art. These are blades that monks use, and they you chain them together. It's hard to do with one hand here, but you chain them together and swing them around. You can kind of you can do a bunch of fancy things with them. But because they're a hook, they're primarily meant for, blocking incoming attacks as well as stabbing with the knuckle, gutting somebody, pulling things out. He does a lot of things with entrails. Wow, that's great to have on camera. But anyway, who do I think is taking this? Well, I've been basically humoring this entire fight because maybe I'm upscaling Kabal a little bit, and maybe I'm taking the whole comparison to the Flash that people make, but I see Kabal as just being way faster. All this stuff that Sauce is able to, all the things that Speed of Sound Sonic is able to do, are incredibly impressive, right? And they're really cool. But I don't see him being, even if he was, like I said, same thing with his Speed of Sound. Even if he was super, even if he was faster than Kabal, it's not by a lot. And that's before we start applying typical MK strength determinant, the test your might thing where you're where they're breaking titanium trophies or breaking cinder blocks. Kabal clearly has other advantages, not to mention the additional utility of poison gas and stuff that he uses with his mask and things like that. If you look at the fights he's been in, just scaling him to other MK characters, I don't think Speed of Sound Sonic has that much of a chance here. So, yeah, I mean, again, maybe I'm scaling him too much up, or maybe I'm kind of, no-selling Speed of Sound Sonic here, but I don't see a situation where anything he's done is that impressive compared to Kabal. So I'm going to give this one to Kabal. It's a very short and sweet answer, but still. I'm going to just give it to Kabal here. But anyway, before I have another coughing fit, Verbal 95. See ya.